Wow. Oh, welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm great. Look, the microphone's right in front of my face when we started.
I love it. It was there as we were doing some of the pregame talk.
Yeah.
It was in there.
Turning over a new leaf.
I like it, buddy. We missed a week, so to get back into the flow of things, and you're right to the microphone. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done. Well done, bud. Well done. Missed last week. I was out of town for baseball tournament. Lots of stuff. I mean, lots of stuff went down. We're going to pick and choose what we want to talk about. But let's start off with dearly departed, right? Obviously on a serious side. We had the former president assassination attempt. And there was a gentleman who lost his life trying to protect his family. So thoughts and prayers out to him. That's about as serious as we're going to get. Okay. Now, also dearly departed. I guess this one's kind of serious too. Mr. Bean, Mr. Jelly Bean. I didn't realize that Kobe Bean Bryant nickname. I never got that. I didn't realize it until I heard that his dad died and they called him Jelly Bean.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Mr. Bryant passed 69 years of age, I think.
Young fella, man. That's way too young.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Kobe was way too young, but geez, Pete's, man, that's rough. What was his first? Is it Joe?
Joe
Bryant. Jelly Bean Bryant.
Yep. Yeah. Played like parts of 9 seasons in the NBA, I think, and then played in Italy, of course, which is where Kobe spent some time growing up. And that's why he knew Italian and he knew like 5 languages or whatever. But Joe Bryant passed. Kind of a weird situation because they had a bit of a strained relationship.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think
that makes sense because you never heard about it.
Yeah, his I think when he was gonna marry Vanessa, which they were very young, his parents didn't approve of it.
Maybe because he was a young NBA player, and they saw the writing on who he was gonna be or potential to be, and maybe that hey, don't let this gold digger come get you, kind of a thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, she was and still is the most beautiful woman on the planet, but.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of females that could be put in that category.
Yeah, I would say that about 1,000 others.
Okay.
No, but it's so from what I understand, that was the case, and they just didn't have a good relationship after that because there was
it. And Kobe's a kind of guy that's not going to let something go.
Yeah.
So he's going to hold a grudge just a little bit, right? Like he's not just going to be like, oh, you know what, Dad, everything's good now. We're cool. Nah, I feel like that's not the Mamba.
Yeah, you're right.
So dearly departed Joe Bryant. And last but not least, Mr. Richard Simmons.
Rick Simmons.
Old Richie Rich. So
the king of aerobics.
I just found out that I had a friend that did a Richard Simmons class in California.
Taught in person by Richard?
Taught in person by Richard Simmons.
Whoa.
This is like, I don't know, maybe 10, 12, 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it a jazzercise class?
She was out of high school, and apparently she went and had an opportunity to go do a little Richard Simmons class. So I'm sure he wasn't excited to have a female in the class, but I could be wrong about that. He may not be gay.
Opportunity. Yeah, I honestly don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the socks, like the man just oozed 80s aerobics.
Yeah, he
right?
did. Yeah.
Oozed.
Yeah.
80s
like
aerobics.
Floppy leg warmers or whatever.
Yes, I remember going to your mom's jazzercise aerobics classes, and she had the socks, that were, I don't know if they had weights in them or if they were just big, like baggy, weird 80s socks, and they all wore leotards.
I have no idea what the purpose of those socks was.
they all wore leotards. Like it was weird. They have like shorts underneath, like a one-piece bathing suit and a t-shirt underneath it. And it's like, what are all these women doing? I remember as a kid going to those classes with you guys going, what is going on in here?
Was that at Westwood Town Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Westwood Town Hall. I said yes. I have zero idea where it was. Okay. I'm not like as a kid back then, I couldn't tell you where it was.
Yeah.
But the fact that you knew it right away, I feel like that was probably
she
it.
did some classes there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably did them other places too. But yeah, I mean, that was when we were young.
We were very young. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Any good Richard Simmons stories?
It feels like we must have had either like a VHS tape or maybe like an album or something. And I don't know if did he sing? Why do I feel like there was an album that
wow, I don't remember that.
I don't either, but
I feel like that voice.
Yeah.
I don't know if that had
we had something.
Had golden pipes.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally believe that your mom had a VHS workout video for sure. I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. He was a fitness guru, maybe, I guess.
He never looked like super fit either, did he? That's the weirdest part.
I think he did. Didn't he do some like, it wasn't like Jenny Craig. Maybe it was Jenny Craig. It was one of those like weight loss nutrition plans or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he was like a spokesperson for that because I think he dealt with a little eating stuff. So,
yeah, sure.
Sure. I don't know. We're talking a lot about a guy that we really I'm finding that we don't know that much about, really.
Yeah, I know zero about Richard Simmons except he always wore a headband, had a perm, always wore a tank top. Yeah. Way like shorts I wore to run cross country in only when I was running, and then immediately put other shorts on over top of it.
Yeah.
But that was his everyday garb.
That's what
every day.
It's like when you watch an old cartoon and they go into their clset and it's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
The Fred Flintstone or the, whatever, Peter Griffin or somebody.
I just remembered freshman year. So we had, those were like those shorts he wore. That's what we wore for cross country.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Those were the shorts that you wore. Mm-hmm. So freshman year, we had our pictures for cross country, and it was after school before practice. And, now I wear boxer briefs now. Back then, I just wore boxers. Okay. And
boxer panties.
Boxer. That is so good. Foreshadowing later in the last segment, the comedy segment, for sure. That is definitely foreshadowing Elise Siddiq. No, but I wore boxers. Sorry. So I'm in the front row of our picture, and we throw these little tiny. It's the first day I got these tiny shorts, and I got this little mesh tiny tank top jersey that we wore, and I walk out there. I don't know nothing. I'm sitting on the bench, on the stands out and I'm just wide legged, hands on it, and I've got boxers hanging out the bottom. And I'll tell you what, the dude who took the picture did a great job. He either cropped something out or something, but there was definitely you had to wear you had to wear underwear.
Oh yeah.
When I ran cross country I owned one pair of tidy whities in high school, and I only wore them. Yeah, I only wore them on race day. That was it. And but that day I did not have tidy whities on. I think everybody else did, but me. They got boxers hanging out the bottom. I got gaps. You can see dark crevices down the sides of my legs. Yeah, but that was Richard Simmons on a daily.
Yeah. Yeah, good for him.
Good for him.
The BPs.
Yes. Dearly departed.
Yeah.
Dearly departed.
All right, good. Check that off the list.
Yeah.
Chris, you no, go ahead.
No, I want to know you we talked yesterday. Something went down. You got a little something that's going down. What's up?
I've got a bunch of stories, to be honest with you.
I'm ready. Let's start with your favorite one.
My favorite one? So we're gonna go best to worst?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to keep the people enthralled. Like, we got to hold them right now. We just got done with Richard Simmons. Yeah. They are at the edge of their seat. We got to hit them with a knockout punch.
Okay, that's a good call. So I, if you are a regular watcher of this podcast, or you know me very well, you know that I'm not a good storyteller at all. But I've practiced this story so many times in the last couple weeks, that hopefully I can make it decent enough for the podcast.
I love that you've been practicing.
Yeah. So, because I'm telling every person I ever meet for the rest of my life about this story.
Oh, this is going to be, I'm so excited.
A month, 5 weeks ago, something like this. I find out Dave Chappelle's doing his show in Yellow Springs, where he lives.
Yes.
Oh,
I forgot.
Started during the pandemic, and it was like the only show for a little bit.
Yeah.
And, so anyway, it was an outdoor deal. He's doing the show coming up in 4 weeks or whatever. I see the time and day the tickets are going on sale. I get on. I'm on my phone. I'm on my laptop. I'm trying to get. He's doing 3 shows. I'm trying to get tickets through one of those things. Tickets sell out for all the shows in like 10 minutes. Don't get tickets. So I'm checking the secondary sites for the next few weeks. You know, a couple times a week.
Stupid, ridiculous prices. I'm sure if they're even up.
They're not up. There's no. I feel like he must have some deal with Ticketmaster or something like that, because there were never any tickets on any other site. So, and to me, I'm like, I don't. Once Ticketmaster sells them out, I just think I can't get them now.
Yeah,
they're not going to be available if they're not available on another site. So anyway, just by chance, the day of his last show, which was a Saturday a couple weeks ago, I get on Ticketmaster at noon, 1 o'clock or something like that. Somehow there's tickets on there for that show that night. I'm like,
you already had a hotel room, right? You were staying up there.
I did not.
Oh, no, you were just going to drive there and walk around.
I was going to drive there, walk around. Yeah, because I was thinking, I was thinking about that all week. Like, maybe I'll go up. I'll go check out I've been there before, but I'll check out the city. It's been a while. And walk around, and maybe I'll, get super lucky and find some tickets somewhere or figure out a way. So these tickets come up. And right before that, so my ex, Tia, was going to go up there with me. She called me a little bit before that, and she's like, I don't think I'm going to go up or whatever. Okay, fine. So I'm like, well, am I going to go up there and just walk around by myself? Or
yeah.
So I kind of was like, I guess I probably just won't go. Check the site for whatever reason. Found tickets, called her. I can get tickets to the show tonight. Do you want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Okay, so now we're going. And we have tickets to the show.
And we're actually going, not just going to see if we can walk around and fall face first into a set of tickets.
Now we don't care about the rest of the city. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
The show.
Yeah. We don't need all the hippie joints that's around.
Yeah, I don't need any turquoise jewelry or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but Young's Dairy Farm, the dairy farm up there is kind of cool. They got it's a shop, and they got all kinds of delicious ice creams and things of that nature. But so I was like, well, you haven't been up there. I at least want you to see that. See the dairy farm. We get a little ice cream or something like that. So she wasn't really interested in that. We did go in there because that's where we had to park. But anyway.
And you got ice cream, I'm sure, right?
I didn't.
Wow.
No, we got up there a couple hours before the show because it's first come, first serve seating, by the way, unless you have VIP tickets.
Wow.
But other than that, yes, first come, first serve. So this is on between cornfields. This is just in the middle of the woods, in the middle of some cornfields.
Perfect.
So, and they built this amphitheater, which looks like a big log cabin with just a regular. It looks like a regular log cabin with a front porch, and that's what the stage is.
Yep.
Okay. So we end up going. So we get there. There's a short line and a very, very long line. The short line is for people who left their cell phone in the car. They have no watches, no recording devices at all. Come on, get wanded a couple of times, and come on in if you don't have anything on you.
Okay? Perfect. Did you guys leave your stuff in the car?
Tia did.
You didn't.
Old boy here.
I'd have found a rock. I'd have dug a hole.
You're throwing it in the middle of the woods, buddy, or the middle of some corn.
All right.
So I get in the long line. She stands there with me for about 30 seconds. She's like, I think I'm going to go to the short line. You go for it, pal.
Did you guys sit together?
Yeah, inside the place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did she save you a seat?
So I'm getting there.
Oh my gosh.
She gets through obviously really quick.
I'm cringing right now.
She's probably in there 30 minutes before I get it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I finally get through, and there's a little opening. You get through the security. There's a little tent security. And you go through this little opening, and then that's where the woods opens up, and it's just surrounded by woods. Just a little opening in the woods, right?
Yep.
And there's just folding chairs, not stadium seating or anything. There's just folding chairs spread throughout. And then, there's probably I don't know. I was saying like 1,000. I think it was maybe 600-700 people, maybe at the most.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
There's like a couple of trailers in the back with bathrooms in them. So that's where the bathrooms are. And there are like 3 food trucks in the back as well.
Grab some grub.
So I was planning on eating there. I didn't eat anything. So I walk in and I'm thinking, okay, this place is not huge, but it's big enough where she's going to stand there at the entrance so that I can see her. Well, she's not anywhere near the entrance. So I'm like, now I got to walk around here and try to find you. You're not going to, and there's no, they locked my phone up. So I had the pouch with the, they locked the phone up. So I'm like, you're really going to make me walk? So anyway, I just
700 people. You'd have found her.
Yeah, but I'm like,
sure. No, I
don't make it hard on me.
But or in my head, it would be, girl, you better go get me some seats.
Yeah. I was thinking of that. So I was kind of like started walking through the middle of the place and looking around. I eventually see her like on the other side. There's like a VIP tent to the very side. She's kind of near that. And I see her, and there are these 2 guys standing there talking to her, and I'm like, all right, already, already she's getting hit on or whatever.
Man,
and
what a bummer.
we're not together, but we kind of just act like we are when you're together,
out.
just to make it easier.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll walk up here. She'll introduce me, and then we'll walk away, and she'll be like, oh, thank you. You know, I was trying to get away from those guys or whatever. And so I'm walking up, and she sees me as I'm approaching, and she's like, come here. And hi, Dave. Hi, nice to meet you guys. Yeah, she's with me or whatever.
Dave and Ron, was that their names?
No.
Oh, because I'm like,
I'm just anticipating this.
My head goes to what comedians did you just meet?
Oh, no.
All right, I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
So she walks up, and the first thing she says to me is, they randomly selected us to sit on the stage. I'm like, right. And I'm looking at the guys that she's standing there talking to, and like, but you gotta be kidding now. And so the guy kind of looks like, yeah. As that's happening, this lady, the security guard, wristbands. She puts wristbands on us. And so then there's like a little row of maybe 4 seats or something on the very back of the stage.
Oh my God.
And then there's like a row of, the stage kind of goes like, the front of the stage is like this, and it kind of goes back like this.
Like a little pizza pie.
Like a pizza pie. And so there are some like, a couple of rows toward the back, over to the sides, a couple little rows with 4 chairs each or something like that. And then walks us over by the DJ. He played a bunch of great music before the show, and they're getting ready to sit us. They're like, okay, well, you guys can sit here. And the DJ, I guess, knew he's like, there's somebody, they already sat people right there. And so somebody else goes, sit them right there. Well, so it's like a porch. It's like a front porch.
Sure.
Right. So it's a pretty decent size. It's like a 5 by 4 platform on the very front before you go down the steps. And that was like the actual stage. There were a couple stools, microphones. There were on either side, like corners of that, there were 2 chairs on each side. Go ahead and sit them up there. We sat.
Are you kidding me?
We sat 8 feet or so, maybe 10. Comedians the entire night. I mean, to that wall.
Oh,
almost.
My gosh, that's unbelievable.
We were
like, say hello, like give you a head nod, turn to you guys.
So here's a couple other funny things. So T gets in there. She tells me the story. She gets in there, and right away she wants to know where the bathroom is. So she goes. There's this like row of security people. She goes to the one lady, and she's like, can you tell me where the bathroom is? she's like, yeah, it's back here. And there's a security guy next to her. And he says, is this your first time here? And she said, yeah. He said, okay, well, we pick, a handful of people. We have some seats on stage and we try to give them to first time people who look non-threatening or something like that.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
So
somebody that's not Chappelle on stage.
Right. Yes. And she looks non-threatening. And I'm sure we joked about this even with the people behind us, but like, she's a pretty lady. So I'm sure that if that guy is making the choice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I that. So we end up sitting back on the stage.
Oh my God, I got cold chills,
for
dude. That is
my
so
first and maybe only Dave Chappelle show.
Wow.
Right up the street from where he lives. And so
who were the other comedians?
Yeah, I can't wait to get to that. We're driving into Yellow Springs, right? We get like just inside Yellow Springs, like start going through downtown, like just not even a block into downtown. And we're going
you want to talk to her? You want to bring her on?
No. Oh, that'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, bring her on. Tell her she's on live on the podcast. We're telling the story. 100%. T is calling.
Hello. Hey, you are on the Nosebleeds podcast right now, and I am in the middle. I'm in the middle of telling the Dave Chappelle story.
The greatest story I've ever heard in my life.
That's Chris. Would you like to help finish the story?
Oh, I would love that. It's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. Besides meeting you, Adam, of course.
Oh, you dirty dog. That's a good one. Play, huh? That's a good one.
I'm a player. I know how to play.
So I told him the entire story, and I'm now jumping back to almost the entire story. I'm now jumping back to when we first got into Yellow Springs, when we first drove into Yellow Springs. We're driving.
I'll take it from here.
Please do.
Okay. So we get into Yellow Springs, and it's like the downtown area. We're looking around, and all of a sudden, Adam says, "Oh my gosh, there he is. It's Dave Chappelle." And he's coming directly at us on his motorcycle.
Oh,
I mean, he has on his leathers, no helmet, sunglasses, looking cool. And he's driving straight towards us. So we just crossed the stop sign and he's coming the opposite direction. It's like, just one little street, and he's right next to Adam's window on his driver's side. And we're just in awe. And I'm like, follow him.
Yes.
And he speeds off on his motorcycle. So that right there was a sign that this was going to be a great night.
Oh, yeah. 100%. So not only did you guys get, well, I'd say randomly selected, but we got a pretty good idea. You got selected. But you also drove right next to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. That's unbelievable.
Yes.
That is, I got cold chills. That's the coolest. I know. I wasn't even there.
Yeah. So I told him about the different lines we got in, and that's why you got in before me and all that. And that's how you got
after we saw him, we were like high, right? Mm-hmm. So we walk around the dairy farm, and we're having a good time. And so we finally get to the venue. They had two lines: one for people without electronics, one for people who had electronics. And I left my phone in the car because I knew there were no electronics allowed or no photography allowed.
Yep.
So I left my phone in the car. Adam had the tickets on his phone, so he had to take his phone.
Oh.
So the non-electronic line was moving fairly quickly, and so I just kind of lingered a little bit to talk to him while he was in his long line. Finally, I was like, okay, I'm going in. I need to use the restroom. I'm just going to go in.
Yes.
He said, okay, meet me at the front. Well, when I finally got in, you couldn't wait at the front. And Adam didn't know this because he's still in this long line. So, they're pushing people through like, okay, no lingering. You have to go in. So when I first entered, I had to walk through a tunnel, kind of like, when the NFL stars run out on the field, they're walking, they're, going through the little tunnel.
Yeah.
So there are 5 security guards on each side of me, and they're all in a line. And I'm walking through, and I'm looking for a female because I don't want to talk to a guy and say, hey, where's the women's restroom?
Sure.
So I finally see one of the ladies, and I said, where's the restroom? So she's explaining where it is. And as I was about to walk away, the security guard right next to her said, is this your first time here? And I'm like, yeah, I think he's trying to hit on me. So I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, see ya.
Yeah, I gotta go.
He's like,
Yeah, I said, yeah, I gotta go.
Right, yeah. I was like, okay, I gotta go. I'm just looking for the restroom, thanks. And he's like, well, who are you here with? And then I'm like, okay, great. Now he's really trying to hit on me. I'm like, I'm with my boyfriend. And he's still in line because he's got a phone. He's in the electronic line. And then, I'm like, surely he's going to leave me alone after that. No, he's like, well, let me tell you something. What we like to do is we like to sit people on the stage who, it's their first time here and, they have great smiles and they look like they might have a good time. We like to sit them on the stage. And I'm like, what? I'm thinking he's joking. Yeah. And he's like, no, seriously. I'm like, well, how much does it cost? He's like, no, it's free. And I'm like, what's the catch here? What's the catch? He's like, no, it's just, have a great time and don't rush the comedians. We want some, people who won't do stuff like that. And non-aggressive people. And he said, you fit the bill. And I was like, okay, sign me up. Well, I didn't know how Adam was going to take that.
That's
because...
what I was getting to. Yeah. I haven't said that part yet. So far, our story lines up almost perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I told the guy, I said, well, let me check with my boyfriend because I don't know if he's going to like sitting directly on stage in front of the whole audience.
Are you kidding? Adam's like the least shy person in the world. He would be totally fine with that. Standing in front of a few hundred people, that's
Adam. Period. I know Adam, period. That's all I have to say.
Yes.
I was afraid that he was going to turn it down because he didn't want to be stared at by thousands of eyeballs. So I went to the restroom, and by the time I came out, the women's line is always as long as, like the line outside.
Yes.
Okay? It's like wrapped around the corner.
Yep.
So by the time I came out of the restroom, Adam was walking in and I had found the security guard again. And Adam thought we were joking too. I'm like, would you like to sit on stage? And he's like, okay, what's the catch? The lady was just like, give me your wrist. She slapped some wristbands on us and says, follow me up to the stage. Here are the rules. No heckling and, no getting up, walking around while the comedians are performing. And, we get up on the stage and
that's a piece of cake for Adam. That's all of the things Adam hates about comedy shows.
Yeah. And so when we get up there, they're like, there's some seats open, just pick one. So of course we go to the back. Like we don't want to sit directly at the front of the stage. So we're back by the DJ booth and the DJ says, no, sit these guys up front. Like he makes them seat us up front.
That's awesome.
We're the first couple on the stage.
Oh my God.
Right next to the comedian.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yep. And we're sitting there, and it's a good hour before the show even starts.
It was more than that.
The music's playing. Yeah, at least an hour more, maybe like an hour and a half or so. And everybody's just staring at us, and we're just singing along to the DJ's music and having a great time. Yeah,
that is so awesome, man. Yeah. So awesome.
And I haven't told him yet. I'm going to after this phone call, but I have not told him who the other comedians are because Chris is very familiar with the other comedians. It was we were very excited.
Was it good?
Oh my God!
Who we got? Tia, give us a rundown. Who we got?
All right, go for it.
So, after we sit there and we sign a few autographs because we're celebrities at this point.
I feel you. I hear you, girl. I hear you. No, I hear you. I hear you.
But so Dave Chappelle comes out and like I'm gonna puke. I'm so excited. I'm like, Adam, I think I'm gonna faint. And he too, he's like throwing his panties at Dave Chappelle.
Of course,
like, okay.
yes.
So
Boxer panties.
Yeah.
Inside
Dave
joke.
does
Never
his
mind.
thing.
It's a joke from a comedy special we watched this week.
Boxer panties.
Really?
Yeah, boxer panties are our new favorite line of draws.
Lots of panties.
Boxer.
Boxer panties.
Boxer panties, yeah.
Boxer panty draws.
I'll tell you about what that's about later.
Okay. So yeah, Dave does his first set, and then he introduces, because Dave at this point, Dave is like a host, right?
He's
Adam?
like the MC, basically, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, he's putting on these shows. He's the host, and he brings these comedians on to perform. And there's this one guy. I don't really know the first guy all too well. What was his name?
Marshall Brandon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, I thought he was funny, but I just, I didn't know of him.
Yeah, I don't know that name very well.
Yeah. Either.
And then the next person, okay, first, Adam, was it the female or the male? I can't remember.
The female.
The female.
She was
okay,
first.
Yeah, because they're going in order of like superstardom, right?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. So then after like the no-name guy comes on, then he introduces Lunel.
Oh no, are you kidding me? Oh, she is hilarious.
She was fabulous. I mean, she was just blinging from head to toe.
100%.
She was so jazzy, and I mean, she was great.
Chris and I watched her last special for this podcast.
Her last special, the whole bit on the airplane. If you get a chance to watch it, Tia, the airplane bit is hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious.
I'll have to check it out.
All right, so we got Lunel. Who we got coming up next?
Yeah. So then, to our surprise,
well, Dave comes back out.
I mean, like, what'd you say?
Dave comes back out after Lunel.
Yeah, he comes back out after every performance and does a set.
Okay.
Then he just says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up next for Michael Che." And Adam and I looked at each other and we just went,
let's go. That's so awesome.
We were both throwing our panties at this point. So
yes. Now all the panties. There ain't no panties left.
no panties left. Everybody was commando at this point. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, how cool is that?
It was just great. Even after the show, I'm pretty sure the show was done. Dave, Lunel, and Michael Che, they all came out on stage and just sat there kicking it for like how long, Adam? They were just like witty banter for what?
Yeah, 30 minutes. 40
so
minutes.
that's the
30 minutes. They were just sitting there kicking it on stage, drinking and just picking on each other. It was just so cool.
That's the coolest thing about those shows he does, I've heard, is they all just sit there and then they just start bullshitting together. And it's just all natural, right? Just sitting there, just being naturally funny.
So Dave brought Michael Che out, and Michael Che almost tripped over my feet because he like did almost like a circle around, because he was like you could tell as soon as I looked back and he came out, because somebody had to go in this back room and find him.
Sure.
And he came out and was very reluctant to go up there. And he was kind of quiet for a while.
Really?
Dave was going on and on.
Oh,
right?
on the afterwards.
Yeah.
The second time when he came back out for the where they're just hanging out.
Because Dave said something like, hey, get Michael Che to come back out here. And he was very, I don't know if you noticed that too, but he was really reluctant. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was like, why am I even here? Why am I
Yes.
here?
Yeah. I did my set. Why am I still here?
Yeah.
Why? Yep. But you know what? They gave Adam and I so much eye contact. I'm like, at this point, we're friends. Let's go hang out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were looking at us the whole night.
That is so cool.
That's what I was getting ready to say when you called was, I was getting ready to tell him the part about that you kind of told the security guard you weren't positive if I was going to do it or not. And that was one of the things like in my head right away when I realized it was a real thing that was going to happen. I was like, well, they're not going to turn their back to the audience, so they're not going to talk.
They're never going to look at us, sure,
because they have to kind of turn around. But Dave, especially, like he turned around and looked directly at us a lot.
Yes.
While he was.
Wow.
I feel like Michael Che did. I mean, I was making eye contact with Michael Che. I felt like.
I mean, we know you were making eye contact with Michael Che.
Eye contact.
If I was not there, She would be.
She was already
talking to Michael
pantyless.
Che right
So
now.
I would be, yeah, I would be Mrs. Che.
no, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. I love
It has a nice ring to it, though,
it.
right?
Does. Yeah, TJ. I love the fact that we were talking about this and you called at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
Adam thinks me up, Chris. I don't know if you know this. Adam thinks me up. There's a superpower between us.
I feel you.
And every time he's thinking of me, I call him. Adam, am I lying?
No,
it's the truth.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It happens both ways.
True story.
Yeah,
it does.
Man, that's it. Y'all got some crazy superpowers going on.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy for you guys. That is the coolest.
Now you guys have me on your podcast. Mm-hmm. Finally.
You are officially a live guest on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Officially.
It's a small list. There's not a lot of people.
Yep.
You're on it though.
I'll let you know what kind of numbers we get this week.
All right, cool. Well, if you want to throw a picture up there of me and put my phone number up, I mean, that'd be fine.
Okay.
And we'll at Michael Che too.
Yeah,
we'll send an at to Michael Che.
So my dad will have your number. His dad will have your number. And
that's about it.
And a couple of our friends. And that's it. All right.
Cool.
Well, thank you for calling. Thank you for telling the story. Thank you for thank you for that. It was we were pretty similar in our story.
That is unbelievable. I can't tell you how like that is a true power that you guys got. That we were in the middle of the story and you called. I love that.
All right.
He will call you back. He will call you back later.
Call you later. Bye.
See ya. How great is that? Tia Wilson.
That was
I don't know if I'm saying her last name. Sorry. Tia on the show. I love it.
So we ended up telling that story twice. So now we're an hour in. But
who cares? I don't care.
Thank you.
Tia, I don't care if we told it twice. That was amazing.
It was the luckiest day of my life.
That is the luck. That is And you know the worst part about it is?
Yes.
There's not a picture.
No.
There's not a video.
Zero proof of
there is nothing.
Except for vouching for me.
That's it. You have this podcast out in the interweb for the rest of your life to vouch for. You were talking about it. Boom. Random call comes up. And on the YouTube, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see Adam go, oh, that's weird. It kind of showed me that she was calling. It's like, yes, put it on. Let's make this happen.
Yes.
So cool.
So anyway, that was that. I think
that's the first time I've ever talked to Tia.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know that I've ever met her.
Yeah. No, very few people have.
That's crazy.
Yep. I thought she was fictitious.
I believe it
she
now.
She still is. That was an actress.
Was that an AI? Was that AI? You said, hey, at 10:59. No, actually probably 11:15. Make this happen. So cool. Dude, that is unbelievable.
It's a story I have for the rest of my life.
The eye contact. I mean, you were right there.
And then the show got over.
Can I just tell you that my new favorite part is that you threw your panties at Michael Che with your ex throwing her panties at him at the same time.
I do apologize to the listeners for the vulgarity of this.
I love every bit of that. It's nothing vulgar at all.
No.
Adam's up there dancing around. I ain't got no panties on. Ain't got no panties on. I ain't got no panties on the dance floor.
We were loving the DJ, like I said, because he was playing like all kinds of, and she and I like all the same music. So
yeah,
he was playing all kinds of really good stuff from the 80s and 90s. And so anyway,
so cool, man.
Unbelievable. Yeah,
unbelievable.
The show got over and they're all on the stage. So even the first guy came out and just like to wave to the crowd or whatever. And but they were all right there. So we stood up and they were standing right there. And she was almost kind of like walking, like getting ready to walk away to go off the stage. And I was like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, this ain't over yet, homie.
Stand here for a second.
They ain't kicking us out. They ain't kicking us out. I ain't leaving. I'm staying on this stage as long as I can.
And they really weren't like once you showed the wristband, they were like, yeah, do whatever you want.
Basically, you are part of the show.
Yeah, and because I put my phone in that case that's locked under my seat. walked off the stage. We walked halfway through the field to go catch but we had took a shuttle.
And you
bus
went to go get food too, probably, right?
We did. So I never ate that night
Jesus.
because they sat us up on the stage. And once I was on the stage, I was like, I feel like I'm not going to pee no matter what. I'm not going to eat no matter what. I'm not leaving this stage until I have to.
Yeah.
And so I didn't leave that stage one time it was an hour and a half before the show started.
It's crazy, dude.
So it got over. Yeah. So, but yeah, so we're walking to the bus to take the shuttle back. And she says something about my phone. And I'm like, I got to walk all the way back through the field.
Back up on stage.
And so, yeah. So I'm thinking like, okay, they're going to really give me a hard time about it.
But you got the wristband on.
I got the wristband on, but I was like, it's after the show. They want everybody out of here.
Yeah.
Go up. There's a cop there. I'm like, hey, I was just on stage. I've got the wristband here. He's like, I didn't even finish. He's like, hey, just let those people know right there. A couple security people right at the bottom of the stage. And the back there, we came down. And I went back and I was like, hey, go ahead.
This is security at Trump's rally on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, they all had sunglasses on. No, so they're like, yeah, go for it. Walk up on stage by myself. Dave walks back out of the room from behind the green room or whatever from behind. Dave walks right. I almost run into him. He's like, they're just walking around up there and stuff. Yeah. And, people were starting to, clean stuff up and stuff like that. But I just walked up, I had some sunglasses and my phone, walked right back. And Dave's right there. And
did you say hi to him? Did you give him a head nod?
He kind of
look at you.
We didn't really like face each other. Okay. He was kind of like walking by almost in the same direction.
And those guys, they know that everybody's always looking at them, so they're purposely not looking.
Probably
100%.
Yeah, but that would have been I wish I could have said something. I would have just been like, thanks.
Great show, Dave. Yeah. That was unbelievable. Appreciate it. Yeah.
So anyway, that was the big story that I knew was going to take
cool, dude. I don't care. There's nothing. We don't need to talk about anything else. We go straight into.
Yes, we do.
No, we're good.
I want to hear about you were gone for a week in South Carolina.
One story.
Please.
Gone South Carolina. We went 1-3. It was a rough. We played two of the best. Well, one of the best teams We've ever played. Unbelievable. The first inning, kid hits a ball halfway up the foul pole. It hits. Whoa. He missed it. He popped it up, and it was halfway up the foul pole. Ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. 11/12-year-old. So /15-year-old. They were unbelievable. So, but we played. We won our first game, and our second game we played Greg Olson's son's team.
No way.
Greg Olson, tight end, former tight end for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Is coaching his son's team, and the first base coach is the current Carolina Panthers long snapper. We got one parent that's fanboying out, right? The day before. So I walk up to do the shaking of the hands and all, and the coaches meet at that.
You have the same story that I do. You had a big time.
I met Greg Olson. Met Dave Chappelle.
Greg Olson is a Hall of Fame football player.
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Will be, right?
I don't know if Greg Olson makes the Hall of Fame.
You don't think so?
Nah, I don't think so.
Huh.
I hope not after meeting him.
Okay. I can't wait for this.
Not a terrible guy. He was, he was nice to everybody around when the game started. Go down, at home, introduce. We're here for the little kids baseball. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh my gosh. And I'm not doing that. So, introduce, two umpires, shake hands, say my name. Look at him. He says, I say, hey, I'm Chris. He goes, I'm Greg. Greg, good to meet you. Yeah, I got to do that a little, I get the little pause. I say, Greg, oh, okay, good to meet you. Like, make sure I remember your name. Of course I know who you are. You're 6'7" and don't look like anybody else.
Man, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my starting pitcher, they're just yelling balk the whole time, and the umpire's getting annoyed. I'm getting annoyed. I'm like, this dude's irritating the hell out of me. But I mean, there was a couple times where our pitcher kind of didn't take a full pause, whatever. And then he
rule anyway.
Started making all doing all it wasn't like, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Like, I should have stood up more for my pitcher because they're yelling at why he's pitching. And it's got to be like, and the umpire eventually goes, don't yell balk at me. If it's a balk, I'll call it. Mm-hmm. And they still are yelling, oh my God, you can't do it. They were talking about his movement to the plate. And because when you come up and you pause, if you bring your knee up mm-hmm. and you pause, you can't pause when you're in the stretch. So you come set, come pause, and you bring your knee up. If you pause, if you're a left-hander and you're looking at the guy at first, that's a ball. You can't pause there. You have to be moving. You either throw to first, throw home. He's a right-hander, and his whole body's moving. His legs paused, but his body's moving. And the umpire came over, and I explained to Micah, the pitcher, and I explained to the umpire, he's moving the whole time. He goes, I know. I'm telling you this. I wish I would have done a better job of calling time, walking out, and saying, we got to stop. Either stop yelling in the middle of my kid. You're not playing the game. Mm-hmm. The kids are playing the game. You're not playing. You're affecting the game right now because you're yelling in the middle of him pitching every single time. Mm-hmm. You are affecting the game. You're not playing the game. I get it that you guys play and you just came off one of you just came off super competitiveness, and the first base coach, who's holy cow, that dude's screaming at the kids in play, screaming things constantly throughout the game. I'm like, you guys aren't playing. Chill, right? You're not playing, but they wanted to be. They wanted to be playing, and they wanted to have. It was really annoying. I wish I would have done a better job standing up for my pitcher. I ended up having to take him out after 2 innings because his pitch count got crazy high. And
well, you talk to the umpire. That's all you can do.
It doesn't matter though. I should, when they're continuing to do that as a coach, I should call time, walk out to that field umpire, ask the other head coach to come out and say, he's the umpire, right? Can we stop? Or look at the umpire and say, can you do something about them talking and yelling in the middle of his windup? That's a Bush League play. That's something that when somebody screams at a batter right before they hit, or screams at a pitcher right before they throw, or screams at a kid shooting a free throw right before they shoot a free throw. They're 11 and 12 years old. That's not if you're an NBA player and somebody's screaming at you as you shoot a free throw, you know what? You're a pro. These kids aren't pros. So take a step back and hold if you guys don't do, I get it. It's Greg Olson and the long snapper for the Panthers, and nobody wants to throw him out. Nobody wants to do anything, but we got to do something about it. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have taken better control of the situation. Instead, I just explained to the umpire that he wasn't doing anything wrong. And the umpire is like, I totally agree with you, but they kept doing it. And I even so after the game, talking to the kids, because Parker came in after him and just gave up. Parker was throwing kind of like BP. He's throwing strikes, which is perfect, but we weren't making plays. They were hitting the ball hard. Parker was kind of broke down about it a little bit. And I was like, dude, you threw strikes. You did exactly what, no, it may not have been what you wanted to, but look at him. And I looked at the other kid and I was like, you didn't throw the way you wanted to either. He goes, they didn't let me throw. They didn't let me pitch. And I was like, man, when I heard that come out of his mouth, I was like, I should have stood up for that kid a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like it's not even your. You could have asked the umpire, can you ask?
I'm not going to be a guy. I'm not going to go out to South Carolina and all of a sudden make a huge deal about what's going on. I'm not doing that in the middle of the field.
No,
but there has to be something done about somebody who's a coach that is screaming in the middle of a kid pitching every single time.
It feels like one of those things that they could say, well, there's not really, we can't really make them not do that.
No, 100%. That's it. You are arguing a call on the play. You're arguing a call every single time you yell ball. You can 100%. You can give them a warning and then throw them out of the game. That's basically like arguing balls and strikes. That is the umpire's discretion call. And he told them multiple times, don't yell balk in the middle. Don't scream at me. It's a umpire's discretion. If it's one, I will call it.
That's a different thing. Yeah. If he warned them, especially more than once, to stop doing that and they didn't stop, then yeah, then that's
so annoying. That's the one thing. Like Greg, he was super cool to me when we walked by and talked. Like we had one inning that got way out of hand real quick, and I kind of walked by, and I was like, "Whew, that got out of hand real quick, didn't it?" And they didn't even look to say anything to me. But and I started talking to him about where we're from, where they're from, how long of a drive it was. So he wasn't a bad dude, but it was like that. I mean, you got to have that competitive nature to get as far as he did, and to get as far as they do, right? You got to be super competitive, and I'm super competitive.
6'7", 300.
100%. And I'm super competitive, but like this is about the kids. It's not about us, right? Like let the kids compete for this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to step in and be screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
Now you're taking it away from the kids. Yeah. That annoyed me about Mr. Olson. They ended up winning the tournament. They beat the team that was by far better than them.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell him who to?
I did not. Like I said, I'm not doing that fanboy crap. I'm not even going to pretend like I know who you are. Yeah. I'm going to pretend like you're just another guy coaching your son, and he treated his son the way I would treat mine. His son was 3-0 count. 3-0 count. Strike down the middle. Starts to throw his bat into the dugout like he walked. 3-1 count. Strike down the middle. Starts to throw his bat to the dugout like he walked. 3-2 count. Strike down the middle, starts to throw his bat to the dugout like he walked.
Oh,
holy! I felt everything for that kid in that moment. He stood there with his arms crossed, told him he was out of the game, and he went right back out to the field, but told him he was out of the game, to yelling at him. I was like, I get it. I'd have done the same thing for my kid. You start throwing the bat like you walk, get up there and hit. Boy, what are you doing? But we were the most aggressive team in that when it came to hitting. Like they wanted to walk. That's how we walked them like 11 times.
Okay.
And take out those walks is a different game, but we go up and hit. That team went up there, and they were close pitches, but they took a lot of close pitches. It's like, dude, go hit, because they could. They were good enough. They were better than us. Beat us by hitting. Don't beat us by that stuff. Anyway, Parker got an MVP of the next game. So you give out an MVP to every game. The opposite coach gives an MVP to one player from the other team. So pretty cool. Parker got one the next game, so he gets to play in an all-star game in here in a few weeks. Really cool. Super stoked about that.
And it's around here.
Yeah. So there's one back there in South Carolina. There's one in Michigan. There's one in Chicago, and there's one in Cincinnati.
Where's it played?
Warren County Sports Park, north of. So it's 75 North Lebanon area. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. There's 4 in the Midwest, and one of them's in Cincinnati. So super cool.
Shout out Parker J.
Yes.
Witt.
Well done. He actually was behind the plate in that game. We got beat pretty bad, but he was behind the plate. It was I think on the turf, they said it was 122 degrees on the turf.
Whoa.
And he behind the plate on the field we played in, there was no air movement.
That's 160 back there with that equipment on the floor.
Yeah, my man was sweating. He was getting beat up. We walked 7 kids in that game. He was diving for balls, getting beat up. He threw a kid out. He doesn't play catcher very often, but he threw his first batter out, threw his first kid out. Should have thrown 3 out. But one of them, ball got dropped. The other one, he kind of double pumped and still almost threw the kid out. So it was a lot of fun. It was kind of cool, even though we got beat in that game, and it was right after that stupid game against them. So he struggled pitching on the mound against Olson's team. He didn't struggle. He threw strikes. They just hit him. He didn't throw as hard. Yeah. And so he he's upset after that game because he got hit hard, and then fought back, went behind the plate, and battled his brains out.
That's what I was going to say. Also, tell me if I'm wrong. Last time he caught, there was pass ball, wild pitch.
Yeah, it was a wild. It was. I put him in the last inning. It was a dumb move by me because earlier that week he's only caught 3 games all year,
and he was upset. He felt like he let the team down or something because they scored at the end or something.
Yep.
But he got back behind the plate and had a good game.
Had a great game.
I love that.
Battled like crazy. He did a great job. Funny story. So I go out, talk to the pitcher, talk to the pitcher. And as I'm walking back, it's hotter than a firecracker, dude. We're South Carolina in the middle of the heat, dude. It's 100 and some degrees. They shortened the games to 1 hour and 30 minutes instead of 2 hours because they were trying to get we had an umpire pass out, had to get taken out on an ambulance. So they're shortening games up. They're doing everything to get the heat going, because of how hot it was. So this umpire is as strict as you get. It's the guy that they kept arguing about the balk. He went behind the plate for the next game. And I knew he's a strict guy because he came up to me and we had a full discussion about what a balk is. And I'm like, well, why are you over here? You need to be over there talking to them, right? Yeah. Like, we are in agreement that he's not balking right now. So, but he was very serious. So my pitching coach, in between the second and third inning, walks out to the mound to talk to the pitcher as he's warming up. And he comes walking in. He goes, I just want you to know that is a visit to the mound. This inning starts on the first warm-up pitch. That's a visit to the mound.
Oh.
And he's like, so I can't go to the mound now, or else I got to take the kid out. And I'm like, well, so he comes over and tells me, and he's like, this dude's crazy strict about this. And I'm like, all right. So it was the next inning. I think that was the one inning. And then the next inning, I go to visit the mound. And I come walking back, and my dad's bringing Parker water. My dad's first base coach. And he goes, if you step over that line, sir, he has to come out. And my dad goes, I'm bringing water to the catcher. They're all walking off the field. I'm just giving them a quick drink of water. And he's like, do not cross those lines. It's like, wow. Are you kidding me? They're 11 years old, and he's bringing him water. He's bringing the catcher water.
It's 180.
My dad goes, I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw something all over that guy. He was getting all fired up. He was all fired up. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just walking off with Parker. Parker came to the mound with me for the visit. We're walking off, and I see Dad, and the guy's yelling at Dad. I'm like, what is going on right now? So it was crazy. Very high competition. But the team that was really, really good, the unbelievable team, the MVP of that game for our team, they gave it to our pitcher, who threw basically a complete game, threw really well. He gave up 11 runs, but threw amazing. That's how good that team was.
Wow.
He gave up 11 runs and pitched amazing. They gave him the MVP. We did not have an error in the inning. He only walked 2 kids all game. Like that, they were like, respect. That kid threw really well. Like, he was one of the better pitchers we faced. And they gave it to the pitcher. And it's like, y'all scored 11. So that was crazy. Yeah, very impressive. That team was really good, and but they picked up a few kids specific for tournaments. So anyway.
Gotcha. So
that's the only story I got is Greg Olson. I met Greg Olson, shook his hand, and biggest daggone palms you ever seen in your life.
Sure. Yeah,
but just could have been a little bit better of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it, though. It is what it is,
Go talk to the umpire in between innings and say, this is a balk and this is why.
Stop screaming in the middle. And it was really the first base coach, the long snapper, their current long snapper is the first base coach. He was the worst of the two of them. Not a bad guy. Like I said, when I talk to them, they're fine. It's the in-game stuff. Like, you guys aren't playing. You're not part of the game.
Dan Farelli is the...
Yeah, Farelli. It is Farelli.
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
I am. You don't know how big an NFL fan. I know every long snapper on every team. I know the backup long snappers. I can name them all right now. But we got to move on though.
When was the last time you did a Mount Rushmore
of long snappers?
Just of anybody in general. Like, do you want to move on to the? That was my. Do you want to move on to Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, we can definitely move on.
Or do you have something else you want to say real quick?
No. I'll tell you this one story. So
I want to hear the one story.
It's going to be really, really short. Yesterday I'm going to a wedding this weekend, right? And I'm like, okay, I need a haircut. I actually waited.
Is Tia? Are you going with Tia?
No.
Okay.
Waited an extra week or something like that to get my haircut. So I was like getting along. I was like, God, I got to get this haircut. So try to time it right. So
you got to get that 6 days, 5 days, whatever that sweet spot is.
Yeah. So it was only going to be 5 or whatever. But so, yeah, I guess that was all right. I go get my haircut yesterday. One of those deals where she's like, she cuts it a little bit and she's like, all right, well, is that short enough on top? I'm like, I so badly don't want to have to
Did you say no?
No, I said, oh, yes, that's good. That's good.
Okay, because that's what I say no matter what. My barber gets done, and I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And most of the time, and then half the time, some of the time, I end up feeling like this is not a good haircut. But I'm just whatever.
You got the sides trimmed. It's cleaned up around the ears. You're good to go.
I leave there and I'm like, whoa, this is way longer on top than I wanted. So I got my haircut today. I went to a different sport. I'll say it, Sport Clips. Different one today.
I love that you went in there and you still went to the same salon.
It's
I get it's a different one, but that computer system's the same, bro. Sure. They knew that you were there yesterday.
I don't know if she knew, but she I told her, I was like, look, I got a haircut yesterday. She's like, what? I was like, I got a haircut yesterday, and I just didn't. I was like, it was my fault. I said it was fine, and then I got home and realized it was definitely longer. Yeah. I said so, and I'm going to a wedding, so normally I wouldn't even care, but I'm trying to have it halfway decent. I don't even know why. It's not going to matter.
You're going to a wedding, man. You gotta look good, dude. Weddings.
I don't even know.
Weddings is where it's at, dude. Is it a cousin's wedding? What do you got?
It's my buddy.
Your buddy's wedding. There you go. Yeah. So you might have some more ages closer to you, some single ladies.
No, he's like 10 years younger than me.
Okay, still that's closer to the age you are normally.
Yeah,
could be a single lady there, maybe a Michael Che lover.
Could be. Yeah, we'll go see him next time he's somewhere. Anyway, I get 2 haircuts in 2 days.
Nice.
The girl that was cutting after, I told her that, she's like, as she's cutting, she's like, you got a really bad haircut yesterday. She's like, she didn't even do your whole neck. She didn't blend it in right. And she's like, I'm like OCD, so I have to get it perfect or I won't sleep at night. And I'm like, hey, just like me.
I know where I'm going for the rest of it. Did you get her name?
Yeah. Okay, she gave me her card, wrote her name on it and everything.
Yeah, of course she did, because she knew you got a bad haircut, then made fun of the person, said how bad it was. Yeah. She has you locked in for life. Yeah. She will give you 15 bad haircuts.
She tried to give me that haircut for free today.
Wow.
She was like, she went over to the girl that was in charge or whatever, and she was cutting somebody else's hair. And I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, don't ask her. I'm just going to pay for it, dude. But anyway, so I walk up to the register, but I can hear her talking to her. And the girl's like, no, you can't, Mm-hmm. And so she's like, well, it's because it's not they're franchised or whatever. If they were in the few stores that are franchised by our people or whatever, we could do it, but we can't. I'm like,
I am not worried about it. Yeah,
I even gave her a huge tip and everything. I'm like, yes. I'm paying for it.
Thank you.
Yes, because she really did fit. It's still, I never really liked a haircut that I get, but it's way better than it was. And so I'm like, yes, thank you. So anyway, 2 haircuts in 2 days, first time ever. Here we go.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. God, that's
my all-time record for consecutive days getting a haircut.
That is such an Adam. That is an Adam story. That is a atypical Adam Schmidt story I expect to hear on the podcast. So here's what happened.
And then I went home, got changed, went and played basketball, came home, and then looked up the Mount Rushmore of wrestling referees.
So my question for you is, we said this could be special guest referees or regular referees.
That's right.
How many special guests did you put on there?
3.
Oh, I did. Okay. I have at least 2, possible 3.
This was not as good of a Mount Rushmore as I was hoping. It was harder than I thought it would be.
So let's start with your 2 regular referees.
1 regular referee. And that was...
Oh, is there only 4 people on Mount Rushmore?
4 people.
How many times have we done this?
Welcome to the Nosebleed Sport Podcast. You and I are going to go to one of the Dakotas, whichever Dakota.
Yes. Oh my God. Jeez, Pete. That's okay. I'm good, bud. I got it. I got this.
Earl Hebner's the easy one for me.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
He's absolutely number 1.
So the question though is, Earl Hebner for sure. Mm-hmm. What about Dave Hebner?
He's probably 2nd or 3rd.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think for years I might have thought these 2 were the same guy.
I absolutely did.
I didn't know there was an Earl and a Dave. I didn't know there were 2 Hebners until I did this. And they basically, I mean, it was all around the same exact time they were all together.
Yeah.
But Earl Hebner's the one that did the, wasn't he the referee for the
Montreal Screwjob?
Montreal Screwjob. Yeah. So that's what makes me put Earl on there, because Earl's like, I didn't want to do it. I knew I had to do it. I was told I had to do it. And I sprinted out of there as fast as I possibly could.
He dove out of that ring.
Dove out of the ring. He was scared Bret Hart was going to kill him.
Yeah.
He thought Bret Hart was going to kill him.
Bret Hart might have.
And Bret Hart walked over and spit in Vince McMahon's face, legit.
And then went back
in his face.
And knocked him out.
Yes, and then went back and punched him. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yep. So yes, Earl Hebner, number one.
So we got one the same. We'll say that. We got one the same. I have a second regular referee.
Please do that.
Do you want me to do that? Okay. I feel like you would remember this guy. I had no idea what this guy's name was. Zero idea. Seen him a million times. That big blonde part in the middle, Charles Robinson.
Yep.
I feel like that dude's been involved in 100 huge matches. And just because I can remember that big old giant bowl cut this dude had, Charles Robinson makes my Mount Rushmore.
I was reading that his nickname around wrestling was Nate, because he was
a
nature boy. He was a huge Ric Flair guy. Yes. Big fan, I guess.
Tons of pictures of him and Ric Flair out there. Yes.
Yeah. He was around a long time.
Yeah. All right. So give me let's hear your next. So that's two for me. Who's your next special guest referee?
Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee for main events like 3 or 4 times.
God, yeah. This was a tough one for me. Did you go Shawn Michaels?
I went Shawn Michaels on one of because as I'm looking through these, I'm like, well, yeah, that, and part of these was like the match for me.
That's what it's all about. When it comes to the special guest referee, it's all about the match.
It really is. And in 1997, SummerSlam 97, Bret Hart Undertaker.
Yep.
Shawn Michaels was the special guest referee, and he was a little bit more involved in the match and determining how it went, and some of the other ones too, in some more than others. And I can't remember I don't know that he I don't remember if this was the one that he really made the difference in who won or whatever, or if he was
just fast count or whatever. Didn't he have a fast count? He had a fast count at some point.
Yeah, and he also allowed somebody to use a chair that he was kind of favoring or whatever. But I don't think that was this one. Anyway, I just had to choose one of the Shawn Michaels ones because
you can just say Shawn Michaels because he had a few of them.
Yeah,
he had a few. Just say Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and he was I think maybe 2 of them were Triple H matches.
Yeah,
and that's his boy.
All right, so that's 2. Give me 3 and 4. Let's hear them.
WrestleMania 14. Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, featuring special guest referee Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson for sure on mine. That is one of the greatest ever when he's DX and then he ends up screwing DX over and Stone Cold wins the title.
Yep.
Yes, 100%. I've got Mike Tyson on that. Mike Tyson was phenomenal during that whole DX time frame. Mm-hmm. And then when he was the special guest referee, unbelievable.
Yeah. Yep. And then my last one, the referee ended up being a guy, and I didn't know him as a guy back then. I wasn't impressed by who he was and where he came from and everything. But then I saw more of him later in life, and I'm not a fan. But Stone Cold Steve Austin, the famous Austin Bret Hart match where Stone Cold ends up in the sharpshooter, his blood's pouring down his face. He ends up passing out. Ken Shamrock was the referee.
You chose Ken Shamrock?
The match for the match.
Can I tell you who I got for my 4th?
Please.
Oh wait. Yeah,
you
1,
3.
No. Earl Hebner.
Mm-hmm. Charles Robinson. Mike Tyson.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, Mike Tyson. Same. My last one, Muhammad Ali. WrestleMania 1.
Oh,
WrestleMania
I
1.
totally forgot. How was that not on one of the lists I saw? That's crazy.
I just remember, so Hogan wins. Was it against a Giant? Maybe I can't remember who he fought, but WrestleMania 1. I mean, Vince brought out all the people. He had everybody. Muhammad Ali was a special guest referee. Jake the Snake Roberts talks about Muhammad Ali after the match, whatever. Jake the Snake's up there, gets up on the ring, and Muhammad Ali goes to hit him. And they talk about, a wrestling punch, right?
He didn't know how to do that.
Throwing that punch. And he had never practiced it. He had never done any of that stuff. And Jake the Snake gets knocked out by Muhammad Ali. And he goes backstage afterwards. And I can't remember. Jake the Snake tells a story. And I can't remember who it was. Somebody's backstage. And they go, dude, you just got hit by Muhammad Ali. He goes, it felt like a feather hit my chin. Muhammad Ali could throw as good of a wrestling punch as anyone.
I was thinking he actually hit him and actually hurt him.
No, Muhammad Ali knew. Pap, right? Hit, they talk about Ric Flair talks about he hung a string from his doorway and would just try to punch that string until he would hit it and it would not move at all.
Yeah. And
that was how that's how he worked on his wrestling punch. And he said Muhammad Ali and Jake the Snake falls out, flies down, like he just got hit by Muhammad Ali. And they get back and like, oh my God, dude, you got punched by Muhammad Ali. How cool is that? He goes, felt like a feather hit my chin.
You know what? That actually does make sense. Muhammad Ali is a master of distance.
100%. I mean, in range. That's his whole thing, dude. Yes, absolutely.
That does make sense.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and that, the WrestleMania 1 changed probably the history of wrestling in general. So Muhammad Ali is my 4th.
Great call. Yeah. Great call on that. I love that.
So I went 2 and 2. I went 2 and 2.
Balanced.
Two of the greatest boxers of all time.
Yeah.
Two of the greatest professional referees of all time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
because I was like, nobody knows any professional wrestling. So it was great job by you. Yes, great job by putting in the special guest.
Thank you. And speaking of Ali, how about that transition? Ali Siddiq. Domino Effect, Part 4. This is it. This is the end.
The final.
Yeah. And we got through all 4 of them. Not got through all 4 of them. Adored all 4 of them. Well, adored the first 3 of them.
We'll find out if we adored. We adored all 4 of them.
We adored all 4
I adored all 4 of them, but 2 so the fact, like, sometimes we get into these, you get the hour and 15, hour and 20, hour and a half. This was 2 hours, hour and 56 minutes.
To be honest, it didn't feel that way to me.
It didn't. I was on the edge of my seat. This was the one, right? This is the one that you've been waiting for, because all his previous comedy before these 4 were all about when he was in jail. And this was about when he was in. This was all about him in jail.
Yep.
Brown, Lil Wayne,
yeah.
Elliot, his boy Elliot. Like the hit, he had a hit put out on.
Yeah.
And to find out who this dude, like how this dude was, and you don't know how all this works, right? I don't know what's embellished, what's not.
Sure.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. He makes you believe that this is 100% legit. Now, some of the stories are probably a little bit, but I 100% believe all the stuff happened.
Yeah. I watch a lot of these jail shows like on Netflix and stuff, and they're like real show, like documentary type shows.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about those the whole time he was telling it, and it seemed like they related very well to each other. What you actually see, on those shows in prison. So
like insane. He talks about from the beat, like. I'm not going to get into a ton because it's 2 hours long.
Yeah,
it would take forever. For the Brown Lil Wayne. So is this podcast. Brown and Lil Wayne That was probably my favorite part of the
Me
whole
too,
thing.
I think, yeah.
The boxer panties,
Yeah.
the boxer panties when he got moved to what it started with a T, whatever that place was, and he was in building 7 building. He was in 7 building, and that was whatever that was. Whew, that was the first time he got introduced to the way the people talk about don't drop the soap kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't don't drop the soap. It sounded like most of it was they were trying to come find a boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. It wasn't don't drop the soap. Somebody's going to do something to you. It was, there were some people coming to try. They were up for it. They wanted it.
Well, eventually a couple of them got married.
Oh my God. That's so funny. You stop dribbling the ball. We're trying to have a wedding over here. He said, man, I was just outside playing ball. They told me to stop dribbling the ball because they're trying to have a wedding. Today was the wedding? Oh boy, he's talking to jumps up runs. Oh my gosh. The Cadillac when he got put in the Cadillac.
Yep.
That was so good. The Cadillac. He said all the doors open in the Cadillac at night. Oh man, it's so funny. This I'm just gonna tell you, and then you hear how he got into comedy. And you hear about that was really, really cool. And I totally see that. I can totally see that. I've been told by people, I got a guy that I worked with who was in jail for around the same time, between 10 to 12 years. And I'll never forget the day. This is back in like 2007, 8, 9, when I was working at a lumberyard, and this dude comes up to me and we're sitting there, brake truck gets there. We're eating, just sitting there with the brake truck, and I can't remember. I always tell some stupid stories, and I'm always joking around, stupid, right? I'm always being dumb. And he goes, "This dude, Kenny Veach." I'll tell you, I don't even care. Just like Ali, right? I'll tell you the names. I'll tell you the names of who they are. Kenny Veach comes up and he tells me, he goes, "Chris, you'd have been just fine in jail." He said, "You'd have had no problems. You'd have made friends with everybody. You'd have been with the blacks. You'd have been with the Mexicans. You'd have been with the whites. Everybody loved you." And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, you just go in there. If anything ever happens to you, go in and be just like you are right now. You'll be fine." And I was like, "That's the greatest news I've ever heard in my life."
Good to
know. You'll be fine. He's like, "I tried to beat everybody up when I got in there. That's the wrong thing to do. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Everybody will love you." I was like, "Oh, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. That's awesome."
Walking around a little different then, huh?
And Kenny was a little scary, but like we had 2 guys. We had 2 guys there. They both made me nervous. But him and my girls, they both my girls did 25 years. Like they both loved me for some reason.
25 years.
25 years. Yeah. And 7 or 8 of them were maximum security. Wow. Yeah, he was a different cat. He was a different cat. Mm-hmm. He threw some bombs around that nobody else throws around.
Did he unalive someone?
Almost.
Okay.
He to a police officer.
Okay.
Snuck into his house, got his gun and his hat, his little, that little hat that them cops wore back in the 70s, and put it on, got over top of him, stuck it in his face, and his partner got him to get off of him instead of killing him. And that's ended up being what got him, ended up getting arrested because he took off. Anyway, besides the point, my man was cool as hell. Cool as hell. Good dude, was good, but he said some things that, like, everybody around, nobody said nothing to him because it was, I'll never forget, he comes in, he's got a picture of his kickball team. They won this kickball tournament.
In jail?
In jail.
Okay.
And my man was jacked. And he has got this dude standing next to him with the biggest smile you ever seen in your life. Everybody's got their arms crossed, right? Like hard looking dudes. And this dude next to him has got the biggest smile you ever seen in your face. And he goes, "You see that? That was mine." And I was like, "What?" This is the guy that used to say whenever somebody would fart, he would be like, that gets me going.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So pretty nasty dude, but he was funny. But the same way, right? In the same way that Ali is, like, he wasn't serious about any of that. He was just, I don't know about the dude being his He seemed serious about that. But the farting,
that
and,
guy's
you know,
walking around holding his pocket. Isn't that how it
100%. Yes. 100%. Yes. But no, in general, like most of the time he was telling a story, it was a joke. Like that second story, that's a joke, right? Like he would say stuff like that because he knew he'd get everybody to laugh. But everyone was scared of him.
Sure.
I started to get a little scared. I started to get a little scared of Ali at the end of this. My man started getting serious about it. Like, I started getting a little nervous about Ali. Like, little 5'7" dude, he made me nervous.
That was the thing. Like throughout all three of these, kind of was like I would get disappointed because of the way he talked about what he believes or what he, things that he did and stuff like that. I'm like, man, that's such an awful, life to live, such an awful way to think and be and stuff like that, including that, a lot of stuff in this one. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, he's a much more responsible person than the rest of those guys.
Yes,
he actually has a good head on his shoulders.
He actually realizes that he's being like these people are being stupid while they're in jail.
Yeah.
So good.
It was
so good.
I'm the same. You did a good job of describing that. Like you were on the edge of your seat. I was thinking about that earlier too when I was watching it today. I was like I was watching it like throughout, like driving to the barbershop and then driving home and then driving.
You're watching it while you're driving?
Listening to it. And so I'm like, I was doing it like
I've become a very bad influence on you.
I mean, I
were you doing
that anyway?
Okay, all right. I don't feel so bad then.
Yeah. No,
it's
but
on the dashboard.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Man, I can't wait to get this. Like, I came out of the barbershop. I was like, barbershop. I came out of the sport clips.
And you went to the salon, bro. You didn't go to the barbershop. You were not at Fred's. Not Fred's. Floyd's.
Floyd, that's right. I was not at Floyd. But I came out. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get this going. Come on, I can't wait.
Yes,
because it was like, I was like 45 minutes into it or something like that. I'm like, and I stopped it like in the middle of a store. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta see what happens here.
I stopped in a parking lot and waited for him to finish the story so I could hit pause, run in, do my thing, come back out, and then hit pause. Because I wasn't like, I'm not pausing in between the story. I gotta hear this thing out at least to a pause point. Yeah.
Yes.
So good, dude. We talk about him being. He's probably my favorite storytelling comedian of all time.
He's very, very good. Very good.
So good, dude. Yeah. So good. And then to find out that his biggest inspiration was Martin. Like it all started with Martin. That was hilarious. If you hear, it's all a story, right? You got to hear the story that goes behind it. And I don't want to tell a lot about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody should go on YouTube and watch all 4 Domino effects.
This is probably maybe 6 total hours or something like that.
2, 3.5, 5. Yeah. 6 hours. Yeah.
It's worth every minute.
100%.
Spend the time to do it. Break it up however you need to. But
we don't talk like this about a lot of people. We don't talk about this. This is like I'm telling you that the way we're talking about him now is like when we watch a Dave Chappelle special, when we watch some of the best specials we watch. So 2-hour-long special, Domino Effect 4, Pins and Needles. 79623, whatever his number was. That wasn't it, but whatever. Give me a rating, bud. What'd you give it?
For this one, I think I gave this one actually the lowest score, but I loved it. I gave it a 4.1.
I actually went up to a 4.4.
Okay.
The second one I gave the lowest score, but I'm at a 4.4 for this. This was, there were some serious parts in there. You know how I am about the serious stuff.
Yeah.
But there was something that drew me in with the serious stuff, different than before, right? Like I don't know. There's like that. It's a different way of life. It's a different way of thinking, and then to hear the way how he thought while he was in there, it's like, man, it's like, yeah, you got to stand up. You got to do you, right? Got to be the person you got to be when you're in there for 12 years, 15 years, whatever. Sorry, whatever it was. But at the same time, he's straight up. He's like, you could look it up from 94 to 96, 97, whatever. There was no rise because I told everybody. And he, good for you. Good for him.
I feel like that was maybe like 30, 40 minutes left in the special, maybe a little bit less. When he started he had like enough minutes in a row there that were serious. I was like, is he going to spend the last 45 minutes of this thing talking serious?
Yeah. It was a good like 12 minutes of serious. Yeah. And about the way the prison system is and how he himself did some things in there, right? You know what I mean?
Yep. To try to make it better for people. Right. Yeah. But he did. But then he
always does a good job of just throwing that funny thing in there. And God, he is really good. When he talked about the Million Man March and they didn't meet and it was on him. And he's like, that's the one time I cried as a grown man when I got all. And he's like, and then Elliot comes in with that. He's like, yo, not Elliot. It was one of the Muslims. Yeah, you said we couldn't have fried chicken in the cafeteria. You just said I couldn't bring it. He had hot grease stains all over his shirt. I started dying laughing when that came out. Just so good at getting so serious and like not just being serious, but like talking about some serious stuff.
Yeah.
And then boom, throw it out there.
Yeah.
Get them back in.
That story that he told of the guy, how they had the community underwear and you're going into the shower and the guy slides
Sugar.
you. Yeah. Sugar. Yeah. The guy calls him a name and Sugar comes out and he's like, we didn't call him Sugar because he was gay. We called him Sugar for Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. It's Leonard. I think it was Leonard, not Rollins.
And he whooped him. Oh, so funny.
And when he was done, he did what he promised he was going to do. That's all I can say. He said, I had to transfer. That happened to me. I wake up. Was there insertion? I got to go. Oh, gosh.
Really good. If you were to give the entire series a rating.
I'd be in that 4.2 to 4.3, 4.2 to 4.3 area, I think. That's probably where I would be. Where would you be?
I'm thinking 4.7.
Oh man! Something now like you make me think I want to get even higher. Like I feel like I'm trying to think of what all my ratings were for all four and try to come together. But you're right. What you're saying is right. The fact that you got four unbelievable specials all together, that shouldn't just be a average of your four. Yes, that 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, 5. Screw it, give it a 5. Honestly, this is as good as we've seen.
Yeah. Yep.
I've been talking. I know I said for the last 4 times we've been on here. I love this dude for a long time. I've always been talking about how I want to do something with Ali Siddiq. There's something about him and the way he delivers. He's my new favorite storyteller of all time. Storytelling comedian, best out there.
Better than Tom Segura, better than Nate Bargatze, better than
and that's saying something because those like Nate Bargatze that dude's one of my all-time favorite. Like he's unbelievable.
He's as good as anybody.
This dude is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah. Good job.
Well, yeah. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we shut out for all 4. The problem is it took us 6 or 7 weeks to do 4 of them because I didn't watch it once. You didn't watch it once. I was on vacation once. Like we got some delays, which means there are a ton of new comedy specials out there that we've got to catch up on. So Adam, what is your comedy special for next week?
We're going to go with a gentleman named Gary Veter. Gary Veter.
Sounds good. I love it. Let's get somebody new in here.
It's called It Could Be Worse. It's on YouTube.
Oh, I think I saw this. I saw something on this.
Might have seen this. Could be worse. What I'm so excited about this is, and I don't know how much he talks about it I think he talks about it in the special, but there is a fascinating story. He's been on talk shows. He put out a podcast that he's putting out every week. for a while.
Okay.
He's in it's like week 6 or 7 now. Every Monday a new episode comes out.
I mean, when you get to the 200s,
it's not going to be that long. This is like a specific thing. His father was a con man, and he grew up with his father until he was like 16 was the last time he saw his father. But his dad was so good, just a pathological liar, just lied about everything, but got him into, they grew up in New York, got him into, he got a hold of somebody and said, I'm from Sports Illustrated for Kids. I have a kid reporter that I'm going to bring. I'm the videographer, or I'm the photographer, and got press passes for Madison Square Garden. He was at like when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. He was at when Jordan came back and scored 55, like a week after he came back. Yeah. They were at so many of those things posing as Sports Illustrated for Kids employees. He met Jordan. He was in the locker room talking to all these people, the most famous athletes of the 90s. And got to do all these crazy things. His dad had all these different people were always after him for money. People were always there. One morning he woke up and the FBI was banging on their door and like surrounding their house, and because he was being sued by AT&T because he was posing. He had a payphone company. Like he would put payphones around, and then he would like pose that he was working for AT&T, and he wasn't. But he had like his own business doing that.
Oh my!
And he had all these crazy things, and he was so good at talking his way into anything. People never questioned.
Which means he's probably really good at talking his way out of a lot of things too.
Yeah, but he met like 5 presidents in a row. Like Jesus. Got all the way up to them, shook their hands to have pictures with them. He has pictures. He has a picture with Joe Biden now. He's still doing that kind of stuff. So anyway, I shouldn't be giving it away, but
I'm in for this one. This sounds like this is going to be fun. This dude's got a life.
It's been 24 years since he's spoken with his father. His family completely fell apart.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah. But he's on a mission to get a hold of his father again now. And he's recording everything and putting it out as a podcast. It's fascinating.
Also, his dad's not in jail. Like his dad's out on the street somewhere conning somebody.
Well, he didn't know. He thought he might be, but
his dad's out there.
His dad is out there. I do know that.
Oh, you do know. Okay.
But yes.
All right, I like this.
It's a really fascinating story. There's tons of videos and stuff, even recently, of him on different talk show, like not even comedy talk, just like regular, Good Morning America and stuff like that. Like telling the stories about what he got to do as a kid because his father was
a crazy con man in New York.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Crazy.
I love it.
And he's also a very funny comedian.
I hope so.
Travels with Sam Morril, features for Sam Morril and a bunch of other. He travels with Nate. Does like
if he's with Nate, then he's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Nate's not bringing just anybody on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. So we got that, and then I'm gonna do the Mount Rushmore of where are we at here? What do we got? We just talked about something wrestling, right? Wasn't there something wrestling we talked about? What was it?
Referees.
No,
you mean last week?
No. We were talking about. I thought we talked about something. Another wrestling thing we could do. Nah, forget wrestling. Let's go to. I got it.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore. No, I can't do that.
Oh,
I was gonna do assassination attempts. That's not right. Can't do that. That's wrong.
Shame on you. That's not funny at all.
Why are you laughing, man?
I'm not laughing.
No.
Don't watch this one.
Crying. Let's go Mount Rushmore of. Man, I'm at a loss here. When was the last time we could do that? Why can't we do Mount Rushmore of assassination attempts?
Why can't we? It doesn't have to be presidents either.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just isn't
famous people, I guess, right?
How does that work though? What is considered an assassination and a murder attempt?
Thinking about that.
Like Like if I tried to murder you or assassinate you, what's the difference?
Let's get the definition of assassination, which is coming up right now.
I want you to read that while I use this restroom real quick because I've been having to for a minute.
Okay. This is we're almost 2 hours. We're not quite 2 hours. That's not bad. The premeditated act of killing someone suddenly or secretively, especially a prominent person. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a president. Definition number 2, the act of destroying or harming treacherously and viciously. Oh, I like that. Treacherously and viciously. I shouldn't say I like that. I just like the vocabulary of it. Okay, so that qualifies anybody where it says especially a prominent person. So just a known person, just any kind of person with any celebrity or any anything, anybody most people know or a lot of people know. That's going to be it's so weird to talk about. I was going to say that's going to be fun. But Mount Rushmore of assassination attempts, not fun in that you want to talk about because people were killed or attempted to be killed, and that's never a good thing, no matter who it is. But it is going to be an interesting one. That's going to be very interesting because you have plenty of music stars, and that's the other thing. Is it attempted or is it completed? See, that's the thing.
That's the question.
Is it, did you say specifically attempted assassination attempts? Can it be completed? Should it be like attempts that didn't work?
I feel like assassination attempts.
So could have resulted in death or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you do assassinations, I feel like what do you got? 2? 3? 2
Presidents?
Kennedys? Oh, does it have to be presidents?
No, it doesn't have to be presidents. So this is what we got. The premeditated act of killing someone suddenly or secretively, especially a prominent person.
So it's got to be a prominent person. Otherwise, it's attempted murder or premeditated murder.
Yeah.
Basically is assassination.
Assassination is probably most of the time
premeditated murder. Yeah. Okay, so let's go assassination attempts.
Okay.
So there you got Reagan involved there. You've got didn't somebody shoot at Bush? Or I know they threw a shoe at him.
Somebody threw a shoe at him. I consider that an assassination attempt because
if you never know, bud.
If it's a steel toe,
I'm gonna tell you what.
Gets him in the temple,
and it's got to be attempts because you got to be able to put the Trump assassination attempt on the list. It would qualify.
His ear is assassinated.
I don't know because I haven't seen it. I've only seen the bandage on it.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw the picture.
I got a close up. It's too much blood. I couldn't tell how much of it the ear he lost.
So
so here's my question: you got enough money,
like Mike Tyson fight,
little gnaw off, right? You've got enough money to get that taken care of, right? Like you put another piece on there, and never know anything ever happened.
Take a piece of your knee or something,
or do you just say, I want that to be shown like that forever? But you're also talking about the Donald. You're also talking about the Donald, bud, because the Donald still combs his hair the way he does.
He does, and he knew exactly as soon as it happened. He knew exactly what he had to do, and that was doing the fist up and 100%. Getting the crowd going.
He asked to go back out on stage. He asked to go back out on stage.
He's like, "This is my opportunity to get voted in now."
He also asked them to let him put his shoes back on. So he must have He must have fell out of his shoes, bro.
Dude, tighten that Velcro up a little bit more, will you?
My man's got penny loafers on. Them are slip-ons, man. He ain't tying nothing. He ain't got no Velcro. He ain't got no tie. He slide into those bad boys.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that. I didn't see it, but I heard that he didn't have his shoes or whatever.
He said it twice. Let me put my shoes on or get my shoes or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me get my shoes.
He didn't file the bunions down that day. He was a little embarrassed.
Oh, he wasn't nobody, because he ain't got no socks on. You know that Donald's walking around with no socks on.
How does anybody wear shoes without
socks? I don't get it. The boat shoes, the Hey Dudes. You seen the Hey Dudes everybody wears?
Everybody says they're real comfortable.
No socks. Zero. I could wear them one time out in the sun and they'd be ruined forever.
My feet sweat immediately.
Yeah. If I don't have socks on, I ruin those shoes. Sometimes I'll throw a pair of shoes on just to run to get the mail or something like that. And the sole, not the sole, whatever the insole, the insert like folds up and like my foot does some weird thing that apparently my socks don't do that makes the insert fold into 6 different circles.
That moisture on the bottom of your foot catches the
and I can't never be right. No, how do you not wear socks with shoes?
I agree.
I don't care if they're hey dudes, penny loafers,
sandals, flip-flops, whatever. That's a different story.
First off, if you wear sandals, no. Flip-flops.
Well, they're all the same to me. Slides, whatever.
Slides are not the same. Slides are not the same. If you put a thong in between my toe, my big toe and my middle toe, my second toe, I can't wear that.
That's what, when I was a kid, they were called thongs.
Yes.
And then I grew up and that's something else now.
Yeah, it's
like
totally different. But I'm going to tell you this, I can't wear those. People are like, go put a pair of sandals on. I'm like, I don't want that thong in between my toe. No. And then like if I walk for any amount of time, I had a pair and I threw them away. Slides, I do slides all day.
Yeah,
I do slides all day. Just get that weird thing out from. It's like I don't know how you walk around with that wedgie in between your booty anyway. I can't walk around with it in between my toes.
Yeah,
no chance.
Right,
0 chance. Anyway, on that note, we've got assassination attempts, and we have what was his name?
Gary Veter.
Gary Veter on the YouTube. The con man's son.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. I feel like that all went together.
Yeah.
Don't forget to turn your headlights on. Using the computer. Oh no. Oh, stop recording. Good. Woo! It just said record.